Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Front Indica podcast. The last 3 decades have been a roller coaster ride in Indian politics and Indian society in general as well. We had liberalization in 1991, the license Raj was leashed back, India opened up to the world economy, and we began a process of moving to a free market capitalist economy. This period saw fast rising disposable incomes, the creation of a small but growing middle class, and very importantly, a transformational change in the country's political landscape. Hindutva politics became mainstream and the de facto alternative to the Nehru Gandhi dynasty, its power and influence in many ways cemented by the demolition of the Babri Masjid in 1992 during the Ram Janmabhoomi protests. Today, Hindutva, or at least what can be called Sangh Hindutva, is stronger than ever before. The BJP has 303 seats in the parliament, has captured the imagination of a solid 35 to 40% of the Indian population, and has also seen the gradual rise of its brand in parts of the media and civil society circles. But like any political phenomenon, this current Sangh Hindutva dominance can only go on for so long. So let's try to figure out in what possible ways will Indian political dynamics change in the near future. A significant and growing trend, which many of you would have noticed, is the increasingly vocal criticism of Sangh Hindutva politics from within the Indian right. The critics have primarily relied on social media such as Twitter, Instagram, and Telegram to amplify their anti-Sangh messaging. Overwhelmingly, the people responsible for the fiercest criticism have been Hindu traditionalists, and they seem to be succeeding in winning new converts to their brand of orthodox thinking day after day. Although, of course, it is entirely within the realm of possibility that each side makes some concessions and some sort of amicable understanding is reached between Sanghis and traditionalists. The reason why the odds are against this, however, is quite apparent. Both these groups have fundamentally different definitions of what they mean by the term Hindu itself. While the Sangh's definition is more cultural and territorial, the traditionalist's definition is strictly religious and civilizational. If your definitions of the very term Hindu itself are different, then your conceptions of what is meant by Hindu interests will also differ. Thus, I believe that there is a good chance of either a faction from within the BJP which is inclined towards traditionalist views breaking away and forming a separate political party, or a Hindu traditionalist party or even parties rising up independently on their own and managing to capture a significant chunk of the Hindutva vote bank. I cannot exactly say when this will happen. It may happen within 5 years with enough momentum, or may even take up to 20 years if things go slower than expected. Another important change which is likely to occur will be on the left end of the political spectrum. The Congress party, despite its continued ability to momentarily throw surprises by winning assembly elections in some big states, is in terminal decline. It is a party with no clear ideological agenda in an era of increasingly polarized ideologies dominating the political space. In contrast to the ideological cluelessness and antiquated political discourse of the Congress party is a relatively new leftist entity, the Aam Aadmi Party. The political ideology of AAP can best be described as some kind of crude mix of left-wing populism and cultural Marxist progressivism. This ideological mix explains why it has been so successful in the national capital. Its freebies and handouts appeal to the urban poor and lower middle class, while its social justice rhetoric is a hit with millennials from affluent backgrounds. It is quite possible that AAP will be able to replicate this model throughout the country, especially in states with large urban populations and high wealth inequality. The explosion in the number of college students being brainwashed by Marxist professors is likely to give them a willing and numerous cadre as well. The ongoing decline of the Congress party is the perfect opportunity for AAP to take over the political space the former has ceded. Lastly, we are going to see the increased prevalence of identity politics in India, and this could lead to sections which were seen as one among many vote banks for a political party becoming largely exclusive and primary vote banks for specific caste or religion based parties. To be precise, this is likely going to occur with two major political groupings, the first being Islamists and the second being Dalit radicals. Considering recent trends, it's likely that we will see the Muslim vote bank increasingly become attached and exclusive to AIMIM led by Asaduddin Owaisi, and the Dalit vote bank being similarly capitalized upon by a relatively young, more radical organization, possibly the Bhim Army led by Chandrasekhar Azad Ravan. The phenomena driving both these scenarios will be pushed by demographic change. As Muslims become an ever larger share of our population and become an outright majority in some more areas, they will stop settling for secular parties and back openly Islamist parties like the AIMIM. A slightly milder version of this will similarly see Bhim Army or other new Dalit groups capitalizing on the demographic growth of those Hindus outside the fourfold caste system. There are many other possibilities and ideological permutations and combinations which could have a substantial impact on Indian political dynamics in the near future, but to specifically forecast things at such a micro level is next to impossible. So with that, I'll bid adieu. Do like, comment on and share this video, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already.